Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Fantasy Monkeys podcast here on the Monkey Caviar Network. I am Tony, your host. With me are my three wonderful apprentices in this magical journey that we're on. We got Chris. Say hello, Chris.
Good evening, everybody.
I said say hello, Chris.
Oh, hello, Chris.
Thank you. Good. Shropshire, say hello, Shropshire. Yeah, you can't hear me.
Yeah, I can. I got you. How's everyone doing?
Oh, good. Welcome to the delay.
Yes.
And with us is Sean. Sean, show us your awesome technology.
Delay.
Maybe. Sean, can you hear us? All right, well, Sean can't hear us, so, maybe he'll come into the show, maybe he won't. We don't know. We'll have to check it out as we go along. We're going to go through our running back rankings this week, and we got the top 30 to crack this list. We're going to start with our consensus number one choice. He's a beautiful man. He plays for the Los Angeles Rams. His name, Todd Gurley, University of Georgia scumbag. Let's start with Shropshire. Shropshire, tell me why I should draft Todd Gurley first overall since I have that pick.
Yes, you do have that pick, so you shouldn't draft Todd Gurley first overall, Tiny. But if you're really going to go for a running back, yeah, go for Todd Gurley. In his first, he had 13 games that he played. Out of the 10 games that he started, he only had single-digit attempts for 3 of them. And then the rest of the games, he took off for more than 25 carries each game, plus more than 10 25-plus yard carries, which is more than anyone else in the NFL. He didn't play a whole season. They obviously love to give the ball to him. They feed him a lot. Based on where he ended his season last year with the short amount of time that he played, there's no reason why he shouldn't be the number one running back in the NFL.
That's your whole argument? Nothing about the rookie quarterback that's handing him the ball?
Well, I mean, it didn't really bother me that he has a rookie quarterback. I mean, because they've obviously stuck with the run once they had Gurley. Once they had him healthy, it doesn't matter who really is the quarterback. I mean, they don't have any other weapons. It's going to be handed off to him, whether it be a pitch, whether it be a little flank pass, whether it just be a dive. It's going to Gurley more often than not.
Well, that seems fairly obvious since the rest of their team is kind of horrible. All right, that's plenty on the pro side. There's a lot of good reasons to draft Gurley. Chris, why don't you tell me some reasons that I should not draft this fine Los Angeles Rams? It's good to say Los Angeles Rams, by the way.
Yeah. Todd Gurley isn't Adrian Peterson.
No, he's not.
No, he's not. Gurley was 5th in fantasy points for last year. Antonio Brown outscored him by 60 points.
Who's that?
And Antonio didn't even have Big Ben for part of the season. I just don't see him as a number one value when you have players being way more productive over the course of time. Players like Adrian Peterson. The low scores for the season were 1.4, 3, and a 4.1. He missed the 2 first games, so for 5-game total, that's 8.5 points. Don't believe the hype.
And he's out. He drops the mic. All right, so Todd Gurley he's the number one. You got it. If you're in the top 5 in your draft, he's going right near Adrian. And I mean, let's face it. If Le'Veon Bell wasn't suspended, Le'Veon's number one.
Agreed.
I think we all agree. So he's all right. I don't think you're going to be wrong having Gurley on your team. I think you'll get your 10 touchdowns. I think you're going to get 1,000 yards. You're not going to get a ton of receiving yards, but he'll get you something. So you draft Gurley with a lot of confidence and move on to your wide receiver in the second round. Because you're taking running back, and this is no longer a double running back kind of league anymore. Sean, are you with us now?
I'm in and out. I'm very in and out.
All right. Well, we'll keep you in. Right now, we're going to talk a little bit about Adrian Peterson, the fine product from the state of Minnesota, your league leader in rushing yards last season. And Chris, why don't you expound on the love that is Adrian Peterson?
let's put it this way. Peterson has averaged 1,500 yards on the ground and 12 rushing touchdowns when he's played in 14 or more games per season. The guy's sperm could rush for 1,500 fucking yards. The OC, Turner, his systems has produced 9 top 10 fantasy runners in 15 seasons. You've got an improved passing game, a la your boy, Teddy Bridgewater. So they're not going to be packing the line with 8 men in the box. It's going to open him up. It's taking some pressure off of him. He's purple Jesus, man.
There is nothing better than purple Jesus. You can put 9 dudes in the box. Adrian's still going to get through that shit, so don't even worry about him.
So can you imagine what it's going to be like with 6 or 7?
It's going to be beautiful. Hopefully, we'll see a big turnaround in that Minnesota offense. A little more passing than last season because 14 touchdowns really didn't cut it for me as a fan. But Adrian is Adrian. All day is all day. So I love him. Sean, tell me why you wouldn't draft Adrian.
Why you wouldn't draft Adrian? Because
would not.
You want to draft a wide receiver in the first round. Or you want to try something new. If you're going to draft Adrian Peterson, he leads the league the past 2 seasons that he played. Now the past 2 seasons because he likes to beat his kid. With yards after being touched by a defensive player. That's what he's done. He can break tackles and he can get you the 20 points a game that you want.
That is what you want from a running back is 20 points a game. That's my goal.
I'm in and out.
I get you. I hear you. You're dropping in and out. With Adrian,
I can't hear anybody. I'll be right back.
With Adrian, you are getting quality at every turn. He's gonna give you points every single week. His low is never that low. One game he had a 2.4. That's pretty crappy. But for the most part, you're looking right around. I mean, he's got a 14.42 average per fantasy points. So hopefully you get the touchdown in the 100, gets you at least 16. Everything else can come after that.
Consistency.
All right, well, we got Sean taking a break, and that's fine with us. You don't know shit anyway. So why don't we move on to Arizona's David Johnson? And Shropshire, why don't you tell me why I should draft David Johnson?
I personally think that I wouldn't be surprised with the top 3. David Johnson seems to have the highest ceiling. I think we saw a lot of what Gurley was able to do last year, and obviously AP is always AP. But David Johnson is he's unbelievable. You look at what he did after 5 starts, he was averaging 4.6 yards a carry. He had 8 touchdowns in those 5 games. One of the cool things that I noticed looking up Arizona has more penalties called for them via pass interference than any other team, and it's been 2 years running. It typically ends up in the red zone, which puts you anywhere between the 2 to the 5 yard line, and they always go with a run play. He's going to have plenty of opportunity at that point to score more touchdowns. I mean, he scored 8 in 5 games. I mean, at that pace, you can't deny the fact that he's going to be a fucking beast. He's just going to be unbelievable this year.
No, I disagree. See, and what you're dealing with is a very small sample size. You're dealing with an 8-game stretch is all this kid has ever shown you. Granted, he put up some great numbers, but that ain't shit, man. It's late in the season, and he put up some big numbers for 8 games. I'm not sold. You got Andre Ellington, you got Chris Johnson, both going to push him for carries, and if this guy puts the ball on the turf twice in one game, they're going to go somewhere else. So I think you're dangling a first-round pick on a guy that isn't proven at all. Plus, Arizona faces a poorer even matchup, right, against the strength of schedule, against the run. It's a poor matchup or an even matchup for 7 of their first 8 weeks. That means he doesn't even deliver until halfway through the season he starts to get a better matchup. So if you want to fuck half of your fantasy season on a guy that you don't even know about, go ahead. But I'm not drafting the guy. I can't. I want to believe that Arizona's going to have a guy like that, but I don't know that it's him. And until it's proven, I'm not wasting my fucking first round on this guy. Not a chance in hell. Suck on that. All right, that's all I had. Yeah, they do have very tough. They have very tough schedule against the run. So I'm not all that sold
They got a lot of mouths
on
to
Mr.
feed.
Johnson.
They
There are a
got a
lot of mouths to
lot of
feed.
mouths to feed.
All right, let's move on. I know the next one's supposed to be Sean, but I'll do the anti for this one. Ezekiel Elliott of the Dallas Cowboys. He's got no stats available because he's a rookie. And seeing a rookie in the top first round is mind-boggling to me. But I'm sure somebody will take him, and standing behind that line, I can understand why. Chris, that line is a beast, yes?
It's an offensive line for the ages. Over the past 2 years, the Cowboys running backs have averaged 14 fantasy points per game. That's the lead back. I mean, Tiny, you could run for the fucking Cowboys with this line. This kid
I could, but I wouldn't because.
Yeah, you wouldn't make it to the 20. But this kid's going to kill it this year. He's got tons of talent. Even though he's a rookie, he's got huge potential, and he's worth the risk of a rookie going in the first round because of that offensive line and because you've got Romo back and you've got the passing attack. 14 fantasy points per game, that's strong.
Do you think that's going to happen? And you think Romo's going to stay healthier for what, 5 weeks, 6 weeks tops?
Probably.
And then what happened?
Well, it won't be.
Then they're trying to hand the ball off every play. They're going to put 8 in the box because I don't even know who the backup is in Dallas.
It was Kellen Moore until he broke his ankle this afternoon.
Yeah, so we got nothing over there besides Romo, and he is as injury prone as everyone I know. So yeah, fuck him. I don't know what to say. I don't want to waste a first round pick on a rookie. I like proven commodities, and this is not it. Granted, he was great in college, and that's something. But I can give you a list of guys that were great in college, and it starts with Ryan Leaf. They were great in college and sucked balls as pros.
Oh yeah.
Well, the jury's out. Somebody's going to take a flyer on him. Hopefully, it pays off for him. I'm not going to be that guy because I got the first pick in the draft. And I don't give a shit. All right. That's enough of him. Sean's gone. I don't even know where he went. All right, Sean was supposed to have the pro, so who's taking Lamar Miller?
I've got the anti, so.
All right, Shropshire, tell me what you like about Lamar Miller. We're just, a bunch of guys talking football. So let's see what you like about him.
I like Lamar Miller's opportunity that he has this year. He's going onto a team that is a proven run-first team. He shared a committee last year with 2 lesser players on a lesser offense and was still able to produce.
Don't call Miami lesser.
You have they are. They're awful. I'm sorry. I have a big problem with the Dolphins in general. They fucking suck. I'm just a big proponent of the opportunity that he has. Ranking him 5th overall, I think, is a smart move in terms of your running backs. There are plenty of wideouts that would be a better pick in the first round, but he's going to be teetering right there at the turnaround for the first and second round, and that's where he belongs. But he's got a high ceiling as well. Just the opportunity that he will be able to get in Houston. I mean, if he's as good as he showed last year, he won't squander it, and he'll end up being in that top 5 to top 3 running back range. I personally believe.
To be fair, he was ranked the same as Ezekiel Elliott in our consensus in total points. So I could have put either one 4 and 5. It didn't really matter. I went with Ezekiel Elliott because of Dallas's offensive line. I put Lamar Miller where he is because he's not Arian Foster. And Arian Foster was great in Houston, and that's one thing.
When he played.
Right, and Lamar Miller has never had that. I mean, last season, you're talking, he got close to 200 carries and still couldn't break 1,000 yards. And that's rough. So I think his yards per, I really screwed up something because it says he has 39,729 touchdowns or something. But I screwed something up. But he's not, I'm not that big a fan of Lamar Miller, and I never was in Miami. And I like the change for him. It's a better offensive situation. But it's not a great quarterback situation, no matter what anybody says. And I think that Tannehill might have been the better choice over Osweiler. So Taylor
I can agree
Miller
with that. His quarterback's not going to be better.
Also, they have the 6th toughest schedule against the run in the league.
Yeah, so that matters. Keep that. You find those strength of schedule reports because that is how you build a fantasy championship. Trust the guy that goes to the championship all the time.
Ah, suck it.
Strength of schedule matters, no matter what anybody says.
It does. It's important. It's important. It's very important.
All right, next up on our list at number 6 on our consensus ranking is Jamal Charles of Kansas City Chiefs. Jamal got hurt, and it was a bad deal. Sharkandrick West came in. I like Jamal. There's always going to be the question of Jamal staying healthy. But if you have a healthy Jamal Charles, if you can get 12 games out of Jamal, you're going to get 200 fantasy points, and that's great from a running back. He's going to average he averaged last year 16 points a game when he played. That's a touchdown and 100 yards. That's exactly what you want from him. Hey, Sean, are you back? Nope. Okay. So we'll keep moving. What I don't like, as far as in keeping Jamal around.
Oh my God! I hear you guys.
Just interrupt whenever you want. We're not doing a show or nothing. You just let us know when you can hear us. Okay.
I can hear you now.
All right, great.
All right, yay.
You're
Welcome
talking
back.
about
Good.
Jamal. I can
Why don't
hear
you
and I
tell
can
me
do
what you
everything.
like about Jamal Charles?
What I like about Jamal. Let's see. He's on a team that doesn't know how to throw a football, so their main purpose is that they run the football. That's all they know how to do, because if you're going to tell me that Alex Smith is a franchise passing quarterback, then why don't you just say Jameis Winston and Marcus Mariota are the next coming of football?
Alex Smith has one of the highest completion percentages in the NFL.
Yeah, because he throws the football 3 times. I could have a higher completed. If I threw the football twice and I completed it once, I'm going to have a 50% pass completing. So that's why. Jamal's on a team that's going to run the football. Red zone, 3rd and 12, he's going to run it. He's going to get the carries.
All right. Let's see. Who's got the anti on this? Schropp. Tell me why I shouldn't draft Jamal.
Oh yeah, that's me over here. The reason you shouldn't draft Jamal, he's got 2 injuries and he's 30. I mean, he's on a team, as Sean said, he's on a team that likes to rush the ball, but they proved last year that they have 2 other people on that team that can also run, Spencer Ware and Sharkandrick West.
Fuck Spencer Ware.
If Kansas City's smart and they're actually trying to...
I'm sorry. I had
Kansas City's
Sharknado.
smart and they're trying to actually get to the playoffs and make a run at it,
Are you done? Was that it?
Him.
No, I'm sorry, it cut off. I apologize. No, as I was saying,
television
with
program
Sharkandrick
ever, ladies and
West
gentlemen.
and Spencer Ware. With the running back by committee, it's just going to be one of those things that I think if they're really trying to make a vie to actually, as a team, move on to the playoffs and not worry about, someone's stats and definitely not worry about anyone's fantasy football, they're going to run a committee to make sure that he's healthy at the end of the year. I believe that he's the best running back on the team, Jamal Charles, but I don't think that they're going to try to run him into the ground at the first part of the year, considering how valuable he will be during the playoffs if they make it there.
Wrong. Jamal Charles, when healthy, is the bell cow. He's getting 25 carries a game, and Spencer Ware and Sharkandrick West are carrying his jock on the sideline, hoping that they get in between the 20s so they can get a few. Yeah. Oh, he totally wants it. Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I get it. Sandbag away, sir. But let me tell you what, you can do far worse than Mr. Jamal Charles.
Far, far worse.
And plus, if you got to play the McBucksticks, Jamal Charles isn't it? He will destroy him. So he's in your division, Schropp, so keep that in mind. All right, let's move on to Mr. Suspension. 50 points for what?
For Jamal.
Oh, for Jamal.
If you
yeah.
play against Liam and you have Jamal, you'll do great. If Liam has Jamal, he's going to get injured.
Yep. Oh, that's absolutely correct, 100%. So let's hope he drafts him because I'll take Shark. Up on our board, coming in at number 7, who would be number 1, if there was a bullet, is Le'Veon Bell, and I got the pro on this one, and there's no reason. The reason I took Le'Veon Bell to pro is because it's the easiest one to do. He's a stud. He's number one. He is the best back in the NFL when he's healthy. He plays on a team that is high profile, high octane, tons of points. Gotta love him. Plus, 2 of their hardest matchups during his suspension. He comes back, he's got a golden schedule against the run. So I love me some Le'Veon. The only thing I'm going to tell you, you get Le'Veon, you better handcuff D'Angelo Williams. I did that last year, and then I dropped D'Angelo, and then it bit me right in the ass. So don't get bit in the ass. Take D'Angelo to handcuff him with Le'Veon. Enjoy the 4 games where D'Angelo will get you around 12 points, because once Le'Veon comes back, it's on like Donkey Kong. You have, Chris, the wonderful opportunity to tell me why I shouldn't draft Le'Veon Bell. So, yeah, go ahead.
Well, it's a high risk of suspension first and foremost. If he doesn't shake and bake that suspension, he is fried. So you better have a backup plan. Because here's the deal. If you take Le'Veon Bell, in the first 8 games, you're only getting 3 games because there's also a bye week on bye week 8. So you better have a backup plan. You're looking at losing at least 50 to 70 points if he's suspended. Now, if he's not suspended, he goes number 1, no worries. But it's all going to hinge on that suspension.
I really want the suspension kicked down because it will totally fuck up our first round.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what I want. I want chaos the night before the draft.
That's chaos.
And that could happen, especially if I make this trade with Jason that I've been talking about.
Whatever.
I really don't want number 1, and if I can trade down and pick up a second-round pick, I'm going to do that. So, I guess our advice is draft Le'Veon. Just don't do it in the first round.
But the main question is, what round do you draft D'Angelo in? Once you get Le'Veon.
If you have Le'Veon, 7.
6. Reach
6
for
or
him.
7, yeah. I
Yeah,
mean,
you
somebody's
draft
going to
Le'Veon.
scoop him up.
You got to scoop him up because somebody else will.
Yeah, because somebody
And
can
they're
take him for a
gonna use
4-game
those
run.
4
I mean,
games.
Yeah.
just to start the season, what the hell? Like,
And that
if
puts
somebody...
him well up there.
If somebody goes deep into wide receiver in the early rounds, they're going to be looking for some kind of tangible running back, or they're going to be looking for the waiver wire. If you pick up D'Angelo, you can slot him in for 4 games and then work the waiver wire and find you a new running back.
Yep.
That's the possibility with that. So yeah, you're gonna have to spend a pick to get Le'Veon. The price is you got to get D'Angelo. That's a horrible price to pay. You shouldn't have to pick up former Carolina running backs just to make your Pittsburgh running back good.
Or you just take Purple Jesus and your problems are all solved.
They're all solved because Adrian Peterson,
All solved.
all solved.
Does that stand for awesome dong?
Yeah,
All
absolutely.
day. Mhm.
All day.
All day. All dong all day.
Gina the Body Chibiotti. She's going to town on that.
Remember, his sperm's going for 1,500 yards this year.
Yeah, number 8 on our list, number 1 in Liam's heart, the muscle hamster himself, Douglas Martin of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Liam loves him. Shropshire, why don't you tell me the good parts about Dougie?
You look at his workload. I mean, he did 1,400 yards last season. The last couple of seasons have been injuries, and Tampa Bay is committed to the run. Tampa Bay last year was number 5 overall in the amount of rushing yards given to their backs.
5 is a good
both
number.
Receiving
like
and rushing.
5 fumbles.
I hear a lot of. Yes, I see that with his split with Charles Sims, there may be a little cause for worry, but he split last year and still ended up in the top 10. I mean, he's just, when he's healthy, he is in that upper echelon of running backs, and they're going to continue to give him the ball until he proves them otherwise. And I don't see him doing it this year or next year. He's that constant. He's going to go for 14 again. I mean, it seems to be his MO. It was 1,460 yards his rookie year, 1,400 last year. When he's healthy, he's going to put up that many every year. He's fantastic.
All right. Well, I got the other side of Doug for you, and let me tell you what, drafting Doug is a huge, huge gamble. Here's why. Tampa Bay faces the 10th hardest schedule against the run, which is not that big a deal. It's bottom third. However, their first 5 games include the Cardinals, the Rams, the Broncos, and the Panthers. That is some brutal defense that you have to go through in the first 5 games. So if
Especially
you take
run
Doug,
defense.
you are looking at game 6 before you start seeing 20-point games, if you start seeing them then. In the 49 games Doug Martin's played, Tampa Bay has lost 35. 14 wins out of 49 games. That means you get no garbage time killing the clock running because they're always behind and throwing the ball. So you're not getting those beautiful, beautiful fourth quarter points. And he had 5 games. He only had 5 games last year with 20-plus attempts. That is, for a bell cow, you got to get your 20 carries at least half the time.
And then
So,
garbage time.
I am down 5 fumbles. That's 10 points off of my total. I can't support the Doug. I can't support the muscle hamster this time. However, championship game, Doug Martin has the best matchup. He plays San Francisco.
Ooh.
And that is one reason to have Doug. But I'll trade for him later in the season. So I'm not that worried about it.
J-Rod.
Yeah, J-Rod will get him, and I'll just snatch him up.
And
All
trade
right,
him for a
next
third
on
round
our
pick.
list is a former fatty. Former fatty who showed up to camp looking very trim and slim. I don't know what it's going to do to his draft position, but Chris, why don't you talk to us about Edward Lacey?
So long, McDonald's. Hello, top 5.
Ooh, top 5.
Top 5. He slimmed down. He looks solid. If he keeps the weight off and he stays out of concussion protocol, he's going to be a stud. We all know the Packers offense is a freaking beast. And when he's healthy, he has proven he can be a fantasy stud to the cheers of all the cheeseheads all over the world. Right now, if you're drafting, he's a bargain at an ADP of 18. He's going to start moving up as the preseason goes through. I'm betting he'll be a top 10 or top 12 pick by the time you get to probably our draft. So
I agree with that.
Get him while you can at a bargain.
Yeah, I agree. He will definitely go up before the season starts. Sean, why don't you tell me the negative side of Mr. Lacey?
Besides the fact he's a dirty fucking Packer. That's one. But once you get up there, you can't lay off the McDonald's forever. I mean, D'Angelo is the newest person who's cut weight to become a stud. Eddie Lacy, they're going to come out. They're going to throw the ball at Rodgers. That's how they're going to start it. He'll get a little bit of runs here and there, but they're a throwing offensive team. And James Stark, I think, proved it last year as he's going to get those 3rd and 8s, those 3rd and longs carries because he can pick up that extra down, and he's going to be the one that they're going to go to in those situations. He's not going to get the stellar yardage that he once got. He's there. He's going to be a team player. They'll throw it to him out of the backfield. He had 201 yards receiving. He'll be more of a Matt Forte running back this coming season, I believe, than he was in the past, where they'll throw to him more often than not. But I don't see him getting those red zone carries. I don't see him doing a lot of that this season.
I see the red zone carries.
I do not. I just don't see him going to him as much. Hey.
I can see that as possible.
He's a damn Packer, all right.
He is dirty Packer scumbag, and that's something that we don't like around here in Viking land.
Your camera's down, Tiny.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on it as we go, but my audio's up, so that's cool.
He's pooping.
Yeah, I wish.
Nice.
No, I turned it off, and it was a mistake. All right, so while I'm working on that, why don't you guys move ahead and talk about Devontae Freeman? Sean, give me the highlights.
Devontae Freeman, the worst thing about him is he's on a crappy defensive team, so they're going to have to throw the ball a lot. They're going to play down a lot, but the first half they're going to run it a lot because he showed last year that as the number 2 back, he worked his way right up into the number 1 back, and he can run the football. He's great at carries after the tackle. Like, he can break tackles, and once he's touched, he's still gone. With just under 1,000, just over 1,000 this past year with carries, he's going to be up in the upper 1,400 yards, 1,500 yards this coming season very easily because he's going to get the majority of the carries throughout all 16 games.
I agree with that a little bit.
No.
No. You think Tevin Campbell?
Yeah, because he gets to play New Orleans twice. That's 600 yards there.
That's a lot, yeah. Oh, look, the camera's almost back. All right, Chris, why don't you tell us why you're so no about Devontae?
Every time I hear this guy's name, I hear, please welcome the O-Neaters. Only 4 of 15 games that he played did he have 100-plus yards. 2 of those 4 accounted for the 6 of his 11 rushing touchdowns and a third of his total rushing yards all season.
I had him for those games.
During the yeah.
Oh, there I am.
And look, during that game, 4-game stretch, he averaged, it was a ridiculous 1.13 fantasy points per touch, which is an absolute fluke. Freeman averaged a paltry 0.52 points per touch in his other 11 games, which should give you serious pause. And Tevin Coleman, 2016, caw vulture.
A vulture. I like a good vulture. We miss Tolbert. He's a great vulture. All right, that's our top 10, and I don't think you could go incredibly wrong in the top 10. You can go wrong, but I don't think you can go incredibly wrong.
Nah.
So let's move on to where you can go incredibly wrong. And I think I'm going to actually start with the negative, if you don't mind, because my camera is jacked right now. But all right, we'll figure that out. Next up on the hit parade is New Orleans, Mark Ingram. All right, I can't stand this guy, and I don't understand why his ADP is as high as it is. New Orleans has the second hardest strength of schedule against the run of any team in the NFL. Only New England is worse. So right there, this is not an elite guy that's going to run away on, New Orleans is not going to cover it. It's going to be a passing offense. It's all Breeze all the time. So enjoy that. He has a lack of attempts in 3 games with fewer than 10 attempts in 3 games. That's not getting the ball. If your running back's not getting the ball, there's nothing you can do. And I've had it happen to me. I've watched as any number of New England running backs screw me over. But in this particular case, with Spiller down there, there's other options, and especially in a passing situation, this guy is no help to you at all. And with a gunslinger like Breeze, you really want somebody that's going to be there. Hammer at the goal line, absolutely, he's a hammer. But you got to get the penalty in the red zone for him to be that hammer, and that's just not this game. The way it is played now, inside the 10-yard line is a passing down. Only at the 1 is it a true running down anymore. If you're at the 8, they're going to throw the ball, and Breeze is going to do that. I mean, we've seen it time and time again. Shropshire, tell me why I should draft this scumbag. I mean, this wonderful running back. Yeah, you got nothing. All right, see, he's a scumbag. That's what I said.
I think he's what New Orleans has been looking for as a replacement to Jimmy Graham. I know that doesn't sound like it washes in terms of replacing what was an amazing tight end with a running back, but you look at what he did last year. I mean, granted, the numbers are in the middle of the pack, but he also was able to catch 50 receptions. Sooner or later, that's going to equate to more touchdowns.
He got 0
50 receptions
touchdowns.
for 405 yards. He's averaging, about 8 yards a carry? Like you said, a passing down is at 8 yards now. Who's to say it's not going to be to this guy as opposed to Brandon Cooks or someone else?
0 receiving touchdowns. 0.
That's 6 points.
Oh.
0.
Oh, yeah, no, I absolutely. Oh,
So
absolutely.
don't tell me those points are going to be there because they're not.
I'm saying that he's got the opportunity.
Opportunity. He fumbled 6 times. Look at Sean's throwing a flag on this. It's bullshit, and you know it. You're trying to sell a bad running back on a bad team, and that's not going to work. You can draft him. You can have him. But Mark Ingram don't come nowhere near Bucket Stone Yoda. 'Cause
Nuh-uh.
we win championships.
I had him
Fair
last. I had him last year, and he killed me.
It's because he's scumbag.
Yep.
51.5 yards per game average over his career. 5 fucking points. Big whoop.
I think Sean wants to say something.
Yeah, Sean, what do you got?
Well, with him saying he could be the Jimmy Graham red zone, it makes no sense. Did you see him in the national championship game during the coin toss? The man looks like he's 5'4". He's a small guy. He's 5'10". In the red zone, on the 8, they don't go to the short guys. They go to the tall Jimmy Grahams who are 6'3", the 6'5" tight ends. That's who they throw to. They're not going to throw to the little midget with a shovel pass from over the middle. That's not where they go ever. I've never seen a play like
Because
that.
Drew Brees is that same height, and he can't see him across the line.
That's
Drew Brees, I
exactly
believe,
it.
is 6'1". It's Russell
Bad.
Wilson
Drew
who's the midget.
Brees a midget. All right, for all you little people out there, don't call me, give me shit about it. I'm sorry. I shouldn't call them midgets. All right, let's move on because I hate him.
They can be a dwarf.
I don't like him, and I'm never gonna like him. So he's out.
Fuck.
Here's a guy that I find quite interesting. So interesting that I'm not gonna talk about him. Thomas Rawls, the Seattle Seahawks, taking over for Marshawn. Who did I get it? Chris.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell me? Mr. Rawls is going to be the savior of Seattle?
Marshawn 2.0, baby.
Yeast mode.
Yeast mode, yeah. In the 6 games where Thomas Rawls saw 15-plus carries, he averaged 118 rushing yards and scored 5 touchdowns. Obviously, broke his leg. There's some injury concerns. He's on the PUP right now, but they say he's going to be ready by the start of the season. If he gets healthy and stays healthy, he is a solid RB2 with an easy RB1 upside potential. Not to mention, Seattle, easiest running back schedule on the planet.
Except for LA twice. And
Overall,
Cardinals twice.
easiest schedule for an RB, period.
I don't think that's correct, but
I don't think so either.
we'll let Liam figure that out. I thought it was Chicago. So
Nope. I looked it up. Trust me.
Too.
I did
too.
Well, you're looking at the wrong damn site.
All sites are different, including ours. So yeah,
All right, so
we
he's
don't
got
have-
one of the easiest ones. How about that? Either
All right,
way, Marshawn 2.0.
He's got an easy schedule. Chris likes him. We gave him 12th place overall. Shropshire, what's the negative side of Mr. Rawls?
The injury, the injury scares me. I can see him as a RB2, like Chris said. I don't see the RB1 potential. I don't. I think Seattle kind of locked into something with their offense. I think they're going to try to play it out where once you took the run away, Russell Wilson is a very, very competent quarterback. I see them using the run to set up the pass now as opposed to going completely rush first. I don't like his situation. I especially don't like the injury. I mean, how many running backs have come back from it was a broken ankle, right? I mean, how many running backs do we know that have come back to their pure form the next year? It normally takes a year or two, and I think they're going to try to do something different on that offense. They kind of proved they could.
It's not an ACL. It's a bone, dude.
Yeah, I know
Oh,
one
it's a
running
bone,
back that
yeah.
came
But
back
what-
after
yeah,
an
what-
ACL,
what was
and
it
he
that he
was
broke?
particularly good.
He broke it was lower. I think it was his lower fibula.
Okay.
That's the calf.
fibula is
I don't
one
know.
bone.
It's just that
Yeah.
that
Either
injury
way.
is what bothers me.
There's one bone. There's
Yeah.
no lower and upper.
Yeah. So the tibia is your calf muscle or bone.
Fibula and tibia are both,
Yeah, the
both
tibia
down
is the
there.
back one, the fibula is the
Fibula.
front one. I do know my anatomy, so there you
Yeah.
go. I know something. All right, so Thomas Rawls is good according to Chris, bad according to Shroud. If you'd like to take the injury chance, you can, but I don't recommend it. But sure cheating, not mine. All right, number 13, lucky number 13, Shady LeSean McCoy of those fine powerhouse Buffalo Bills. They are so good.
Oh my God.
Last year, Shady had a horrible time finding the end zone with only 5 TDs to his credit. But maybe this year's a different year. Chris, do you think this year's a different year for Shady?
Absolutely. Look, Shady would have finished last season with 271 rushes and a top 5 fantasy runner based on his pace had he not missed the 4 games. Greg Roman's offenses run the football no less than 50.2% of the time, so he's going to get those opportunities for the rush. Not only that, but he's going to get them for the pass, except maybe that Reggie Bush just got signed yesterday. So we have to take a look at that. But I think that Shady's on the verge of a breakout. He's not going to, unless McFucksticks draft him, and then he's going to put him in the hole again like he did 2 years ago. But,
I had him 2
Shady,
years ago.
yeah, Shady's. Oh, you did? All right. Well,
I
thought
had him 2 years ago. You carried my ass to the playoffs.
He will do that.
maybe it was last year. Whenever McFucksticks had him, he got sunk. So
Yeah,
Last
2 years ago.
was last year. So I mean, I think he's got great potential. Tyrod Taylor's coming along. They've got more weapons in the passing game. So I think he could have a breakout season.
All right, that's quite possible.
Yeah.
Sean, do you see a downside to Shady?
To Shady, just that their passing game started opening late in the season because Sammy Watkins started to develop himself as more of a dominant receiver in the NFL. Like, he was getting the 20 points per game. He was starting to throw it to him, and he felt more comfortable. And with Reggie Bush, if you take out his Detroit experience, coming from a team like New Orleans, they threw the ball a lot, and he got a lot of passes. Like, he knows how to catch it out of the backfield, where Shady's more of a runner north to south, but he was running a lot to east to west last year.
Reggie Bush hasn't been relevant since inception.
Hey, calm that shit down.
I'm just saying, I'm telling the truth. Reggie Bush is nothing. Them
He's
signing Reggie Bush means very little.
He's a cheetah.
He's a cheetah.
He's a cheater.
Kardashian banger.
Ugh.
Hey, that gets
Yeah.
you point. That gets you minutes in the NBA.
Well,
All right.
it doesn't work out so well for football players.
We don't know that yet, do we?
Let's start zooming through these guys and get done with it.
Let's go.
All right. Coming in at number 14 is Mr. Matt Forte, the New York Football Jets. Fuck the Giants. Here's why I'm a fan of Forte this year, and I had him last year in a great trade, and he was underutilized very badly by Sean's Chicago Bears. They didn't throw him the ball but 44 times. This is a guy that needs 60 to 70 receptions. He's going to average on a pass catch 8.45 yards. That's damn near a fucking point. So, get the ball in the guy's hands, get him in some space, and let him run. He is an injury threat. That's always there. I think he's got great talent around him on the Jets offense with Marshall and Decker and Fitzpatrick. I think there's going to be scores. I don't think their defense is top notch. So I think there's going to be a few games where he's running out the clock in the fourth quarter, and a few games where they're getting blown out and they're throwing the ball all over the field. So I think it can go either way, but I think Forte's a solid pick. I think you're going to get a lot more passing yards out of him this year. I don't think he's going to hit 1,000 yards rushing. He's certainly not going to get you 10 touchdowns. But at this point, you're looking for a durable RB2 that you can match him up with the Lamar Miller or Jamal Charles, and it looks great on paper. And if he comes through, you're golden, and you got great running backs. If he doesn't, well, it's Forte, and you took a shot. Who's supposed to be the negative here?
It's
Rob.
me.
Yeah. Tell me what you don't like about Forte. Nothing. See, he's got nothing.
Coming
from
gotta
a
be
Jets
honest with you,
fan.
this is coming more of a place of just being a Jets fan. I mean,
I didn't. Wait. Hold on.
This is
I
not
didn't know you were a
gonna
Jets
go
fan.
over well.
You're really a Jets fan?
Yeah.
Like for real?
Yeah, I know.
Wow, that's horrible. I mean, I thought my life sucked because I'm a Viking fan, but being a Jets fan, whoo.
Yeah, it's not.
All right, so it's going to be hard for you to
Great.
talk totally about him,
But no, I just
treat him like Chris Ivory.
no.
And send him to Miami.
My thing with
Jacksonville.
Yeah.
My thing with Forte is, as you said, that the injury risk, he's getting up there. Just my own pessimism. It sounded to me like it's a guy going for his last hurrah, getting a little bit more money, going and playing with some of his friends, having a couple, one more year. I wouldn't be surprised if Bilal Powell was the starting running back by Thanksgiving. I really don't.
Bold
predictions.
Bold.
I love a good bold prediction. All right, well, that's the book on Forte. I think you can draft him reasonably well to be an RB2. Don't look to him to be your number one guy, though, because that's going to break your heart. Next up at number 15 and getting us to the halfway point, is C.J. Anderson. Denver's fine running back who took over for Monte Ball, who sucked. And I don't know. Schraub. God, it's back to Schraub? Jesus, man, you talk a lot. Where'd he go? Oh, he's gone. All right, well, he's gone. So guess what? So C.J. Anderson. 5 touchdowns. That's not going to get it to you. Let's move on. Bam. 5 C.J. Next up.
Oh, you're killing me.
What? Was that your negative you were going to rip him?
Hell yeah.
All right,
go ahead. Pass it on.
No, if you're going to rip, look, I turned it back. I can turn back time.
Mark Sanchez. Okay, he ripped him. There we go. Mark Sanchez. Okay, they're running.
I'm like Cher. I can turn back time.
This dude is the real C.J. No-K, bro.
C.J. No-K, yeah.
The real C.J. No-K. Ronnie Hillman led the Broncos in carries last season.
Right?
With 207.
Yeah, this guy's not the answer.
In 7 games, he had 15 or fewer carries. He touched the ball 15 fewer times, and Denver runs the ball 38.9%. It's the dirty Sanchez hour, and they're going to be playing from behind because PEY is gone. It's a butt fumble waiting to happen.
Yeah, I hundo agree.
Fuck.
All right, Lowside was next. I had Lowside last year. I was really high on him going into the draft. I thought he was going to be the second coming of peanut butter. And then San Francisco absolutely fell apart. And Kaepernick was out at quarterback, and God knows what was going on over there. But it was a friggin' mess.
Still is.
He's coming off a pretty bad injury, and that doesn't bode well. He did have one game where he had 21 attempts against Baltimore and only got 55 yards. And that's not a great defense there in Baltimore. So he can really he's 38.2 yard average a game. That's all he's got so far. That's all the book on him is. Ooh. So I don't like it. It's a poor offense. It's a poor offensive line. Chip Kelly's going to do what he can, but it may tire Lowside out by the end of the season.
I see defenses coming in and say, beat us with the passing game. Beat us in this way because we're going to put 7 in the box. Beat us and pass the ball. And they don't have another option, really.
No, they don't. They really
that's
don't.
all they have. And he's going to be an RB2 for some people, and they're going to hope and pray that San Francisco can find a rushing game, but he's going to struggle.
It is going to be a struggle in San Francisco. And winning is going to be a struggle in San Francisco. So
I don't care about winning. It's fantasy points.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But if they're not winning, the running back's not the position to have. It's a receiver. Because they're going to be behind. They're going to be chucking the ball. So they have a brutal division. There's a lot of good defenses in that NFC West. So you take Carlos Hyde at your own peril, as far as I'm concerned. Chris, do you have any other thoughts?
Nah.
All right, good. All right, we move on to Oakland Raider running back Latavius Murray, because we need another guy named Murray in the league.
Yeah.
All right, who's got this?
Me.
Chris, go ahead and hit us up on the good stats, and they are pretty good.
Well, it's the reincarnation of Bo Jackson in the Raiderlands.
The heck it isn't.
Hey, look,
knows?
He accounted for 89% of Oakland's backfield touches.
That's done.
That's a feature back.
That is certainly a feature back.
It's an up-and-coming offense, and the Raiders actually have a passing game now. So you don't have this one-dimensional offense, so that's going to help him improve on last year. But it's still the Raiders, so temper the enthusiasm a little bit.
Do you see a rise in the production of touchdown? He was 1,000 yards, 1,066 yards, but only 6 TDs. You think he can break 10?
I think he gets 10 TDs this year.
I think he can get 10. Wow.
Yeah.
Sean, what do you think about Latavius?
I think he's a great back in Oakland because they developed the passing game last year with Carr and Cooper coming in as rookies and developing that great passing game that they have. So I see him getting at least 1,200 yards on the ground because defenses are going to be backed off a little bit more, and he's going to get, I'm going to say 8 touchdowns, if not 1 or 2 passing.
How was your phone, Chris?
Yeah, it's Shropshire.
Oh, yeah, can't get
Yeah, it was Shropshire on mine, too.
All right, well, there goes Sean.
Sean.
Everybody's dropping. They're like flies. All right,
Technical
Matt Jones.
issues.
Matt Jones
we
is
got you.
next on the hit parade. He's number 18 in our rankings. Let's just, why don't we call this a top 20? It's getting long. All right, so Matt Jones is a number 18. Sean, do you like Matt Jones?
I like him. I don't like him as much as Joey's going to like him. I think he's a great back. He's not going to be if you get him, he's going to be a great flex player, maybe an RB2. 140 carries on 490 yards. It's just not what an RB2 or a flex is going to do. You throw that Washington name tag, Revels is going to jump on him in the 5th round.
Yeah, 37.7 yards per game. Whoopee! Yeah, I'm not sold on Matt Jones. Chris, you sold?
Suck it.
Suck it, yeah. Buying or selling? Matt Jones is a sell.
Sell.
Next up on the hit parade, DeMarco. Oh, DeMarco. Remember when DeMarco Murray was really good?
Uh-huh.
Oh, and he wasn't playing for Chip Kelly?
Well, he had an offensive line that could actually open a hole. And now he's in Tennessee where they can't. And I had the pro for DeMarco, and this is hard to come up with a really good reason to take. If you're going to take him, you have to take Derrick Henry because if anything happens, you still want the go-to guy there. And unfortunately, Derrick Henry could actually take this job away from a very aging DeMarco. He's a very old 28. I mean, he got beat up in Dallas. He really did. He paid the price. And he doesn't fumble a lot. He gets couple receptions to get you some yards. And if they could run a true a read option with Mariota and DeMarco, he could be great. He really could be great. But their offensive line is miserable pieces of shit. So no, as a pro, don't draft DeMarco. Chris, hit me.
The Titan offensive line.
I'll get back to you, Sean.
The Titan offensive line couldn't block a fucking cheerleader.
No, they couldn't.
No, and look, his new coach.
They couldn't find a hole on her.
Yeah. Well, his new coach Robisky has never coached a 1,000-yard back, ever.
Guess what? Still not gonna.
I like a Matthews or a Stewart before a DeMarco Murray. I mean, honestly, it's just going to be a shit show.
It is. I believe that the shit show is the correct definition of most Tennessee games this season will be much of a shit show. So there are other ways you can go instead of DeMarco Murray. So just don't draft him. That's my advice. Don't take him. All right, here's a guy, Ryan Matthews for the Eagles. Schropp was supposed to take point on this, but I'm going to say I like him this season to improve. The numbers are not great. 107 carries, 500 and something yards, 6 touchdowns, 41 yards a game. Not very good. 8 points a game in fantasy. But there is potential there for him to have a better season this year without the distraction of DeMarco, without Chip Kelly being, this is my offense, and let him do that in San Francisco. So I like Ryan Matthews. I'm not sold that he's going to be top 15, but he should be right there on the bubble. 7 touchdowns, 800 yards, somewhere in there. Not a bad option this late in the draft. Anybody hate him?
No.
Not sold on him.
Yeah, and then nobody is. He's middle, and that's where he's supposed to be.
But he doesn't have anybody threatening his position to become the number 1 back. Like
not at all.
Darren Sproles isn't going to take it. That's why DeMarco's got more of a scarier pick, because if they can run that option, Henry's going to be the number 1 guy.
So yeah, I like Ryan Matthews, but again, this should not be your number 1 or number 2 option.
No,
really an RB3 at the very best.
Yeah,
and I think that's where we're at in the draft right now. Once you get down to 20, you're really starting to look at an RB3, a guy you're going to position, or you're going to get in there once in a while in case somebody gets hurt. And here's a guy that you could possibly take to cover some of those injured players is Dion Lewis in New England. Now, I already mentioned New England has a horrible strength of schedule against the run. It's going to be brutal.
Yeah.
Dion Lewis has amazing stretch play. He can, if he gets the ball in space, and they're going to throw it to him a lot. He's like their third down guy before he became the starter. So I like a better number than the 234 rushing yards last season and 2 touchdowns. I think you'll see 4 touchdowns, 5 possibly. But Belichick hates your fantasy team, and he's going to do everything he can to fuck it over on a weekly basis. So take Gronk. Maybe. Because remember, you got no Brady for 4 weeks, so Gronk's a worthless piece of shit too. I stay away from New England at all costs this season is my motto. If you got to take Brady, take Romo, but just stay out of New England. I think you'll feel better. For all you New England fans out there, your team will do well. You're going to win games. You're going to be in the playoffs. I just don't like you for fantasy, that's all, because your coach is such a dickhead about fantasy. And I hate it. All right, Chris.
He knows how to fuck you over.
We've talked previously about our league, and we have a thing called a developmental player. You can draft a rookie. If you don't play him, he becomes your last-round spot. This year's draft, Jay Ajayi, Chris's developmental player, gets to sit on his lineup in position 16. So tell me why you're so thrilled.
Fuck Arian Foster.
Starting running back, Arian Foster.
He's a play away from a hammy, an ankle, a concussion, a shoulder, or an ACL. In his last 3 seasons as an OC, Gas's top fantasy running back has been no worse than 11th. Ajayi wins the job when Foster goes down in preseason game number 3, and everybody drafting Foster will be holding their dicks like they did the last 3 out of 4 years.
Do you know what Arian Foster is good for? 1 play away from? A 50-yard fucking touchdown. That's what he's 1 play away from.
Or a hammy.
I'm not saying he's the strongest guy and that he's not going to get injured. He's injury prone. And having this guy as your backup is fine. But are you going to go out and spend a big pick on Arian Foster now?
No, not at all.
I mean, we don't even have Arian Foster ranked.
Well, I mean, no.
You think you're going to pick him up off the waiver wire?
No, somebody will draft him.
Somebody will draft him. Reggie will draft him. He'll be in the magazine as like the third fucking running back.
What magazine did you give Jay? What magazine did we give Reggie? 2012? 2014? Yeah.
All right, let's. I'm gonna skip over Jeremy Hill. I like Jeremy Hill. He's gonna get you touchdowns. He's not gonna get you much else. That's about the size of it. Gio's gonna catch it. Jeremy Hill's gonna dive in from the 1. You can enjoy all those 6-point touchdowns you're going to get, but they're all going to be 1-yarders. That's the score. Agreed?
Agreed.
All right, move on. Bam, next. Jonathan Stewart. Let's talk Jay Stewart since he's hometown. Chris, what do you think about the Jay Stewart this year?
Look, if he hadn't missed 3 games, he would have hit 1,000 yards, obviously.
Correct.
He should be going well before Murray, Matt Jones, and the like based on total offensive production, period. The Panthers ran at 49.6% of the time last season, which was ranked 2nd in the league. And Stewart, of course, led with carries of 242. And Cameron Artis-Payne will see minimal time as Stewart piles up the numbers over the season.
Was that Jordan Cameron or Cameron Jordan?
That was a Jordan Cameron, Cameron Artis-Payne reference.
James Cameron made Titanic.
Ah, there you go.
Right? Sean, excuse me, you're a Panther fan, correct? Oh no, you're a Chicago fan.
I hate Panthers. But Cameron Artis-Payne, I feel will get a lot more touches than Stewart because Stewart had one full season that he hasn't been injured. They ran it so much because they were up the majority of the season this past year. That's not going to be the case this coming year. They're not going to be up. They were up, I'm going to say, 13 of the 14 games that they won. The Giants is the one that they came back and won in the final. Cameron Artis-Payne is going to get a lot more touches this year as well. He's looking good in training camp, according to some sources. Liam, bullshit. But he's going to get more touches. He's growing as a back. Stewart is going to get injured by week 3 and be out for another 5 weeks.
All right.
Fair enough.
All right. That's good enough. All right. Moving on.
That's
Number 25 on our list. Whoops, not Jonathan Stewart. Jeremy Langford. We'll let Sean talk about his homer team. What do you think of Langford this year, Sean?
I like Langford because coming off of the games that he got, 6 of those touchdowns was all at the end of the season after Forte was coming out. He did great because I'm a homer team. He's not going to do anything as an RB1 and RB2. He'll be your flex guy at best. He'll get 9 touchdowns as a homer fan. So realistically, he's going to get the 6 touchdowns. They don't really have anybody else that they're going to run it with. There's nobody else. Shropshire is texting me. There's nobody else in their backfield. All they have are their receivers and Zach Johnson as a tight end. They really have no offense. John Fox is no mastermind. It's going to be a horrible year for Chicago fans everywhere.
Yeah, I agree that Chicago's going to have a rough season. But this is going to be the guy they're going to lean on, I think, a little bit. And he's a dual threat. He had 22 targets in his limited role last season, which isn't bad. He averages about 4 yards a carry when he gets the ball. That's not bad. He had a great game against St. Louis last year where he banged up 20 carries and, 9 catches, 180 total yards, 2 touchdowns. I don't think the guy is the greatest shake. I'll get to you, Chris. I don't think the guy's the greatest shake in the world, but for the 25th rated running back that you're going to grab in the 6th, 7th round, he might do the job, and he could end up in the top 10. My bold prediction.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's what I think of Langford. Chris, what do you got? You were throwing a towel in a tantrum.
Yeah, Langford's problem is John Fox.
Oh yeah, that's 100% true right there. John Fox.
That's Shanahanigans with less intellect. I mean, the guy walks on the sidelines. He looks like he's wondering if he shit himself, and everybody knows that look.
Do farts have lumps?
Do you think the guys on ESPN wish they could go, John Fox sucks balls?
I mean, they let Matt Forte go. They're freaking idiots there, and it's back to
Bennett, Forte, Marshall. I mean, it's evacuation time in Chicago.
And they keep Cutler.
But I heard they re-signed Urlacher to a 12-year contract, so that's great.
Oh, well, that's
okay
good.
With that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, he's gonna play till he's 85.
Yeah, coming out of retirement, I guess, huh?
And you'll still do better.
All right, we're gonna skip Melvin Gordon because everybody hates this guy. Nobody likes him. Nobody likes San Diego. We're gonna move on. We're gonna briefly skip over Duke Johnson.
Duke.
Only because there's really not a lot to talk about. We don't have a big sample from him, and Cleveland is a fucking shit heap. So good luck over there. I hope they get their quarterback situation worked out. I hope Duke Johnson has a nice year. I would love to see him do well. I would love for Cleveland to do well. I have some friends that are Cleveland fans, and I wish them well. But it's never going to happen to the fucking Browns, and they suck.
It's Cleveland.
I love Corinne, but your Browns are horrible. So
they're a factory of sadness.
Enjoy your LeBron and all that's going on over there. That's great stuff. Enjoy the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. You got good stuff over there in Cleveland. It's just not going to happen as far as football goes. All right, this is the debate we've all been waiting for. Franklin Gore. I got pro Frank Gore. I got to tell you why you should draft the 28th rated running back on our list. My note says it can't hurt you. You're not drafting Frank Gore to be your number one guy. He's your third, maybe fourth running back. He can't hurt your team. He really can't. If you put him in, you're going to go, if he gets 8 points, I'm going to be happy. 10 points would be a bonus. 16 would be blowing me away. I don't think Frank Gore is going to blow anybody away. And the strength of schedule is not as bad as it looks, though it is pretty bad. He's only got 6 touchdowns. He's only going to get 7 points a game. That's just who he is. But you know that going in, so it can't hurt you. Right?
Wrong.
Wrong. Tell me why Frank Gore can hurt.
Because he's Methuselah. That
He's got
fucker,
more
I swear to God.
touchdowns than half the guys on this list.
Indy's starting to employ a 3-wide set. They've already started talking about it, and that tells me one thing: it's going to be pass, pass, pass. Chudzinski is the Grim Reaper of fantasy football backs, and Gore has 1 foot in the grave already. Except for Jamal Lewis in 2007, the RB average stat for the year is 27th with Chudzinski. You'd be better picking up a kicker in this spot, even if you're not a Tampa Bay fan.
I love kickers. It's the year of the kicker.
You're the kicker.
So you're down on Gore, high on luck, I see. Draft target.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Let me tell you what luck will do for you. He will get you to the championship game. And then
shit
the bed. Shit the bed to the motherfucker.
I'll be shit all over the
Sorry. I shouldn't call Andrew Luck a motherfucker, but he motherfucked me in that championship game. So I hate him. All right, we got 2 guys left. We'll finish it up. We're gonna rock close to just an hour. It'll be pretty close.
Not bad.
Sean, tell me about your love for Amir Abdullah.
Oh, I love the NFC running backs. If you can get an NFC running back that's not named Adrian, just don't worry about drafting him. Basically, Amir Abdullah. Detroit doesn't know what they want to do with Megatron being gone. He's going to get more than 143 carries this year. He might get 700 yards. I can see 700, maybe 800. He's going to get 6 touchdowns. He's not going to be star. He could be an RB2 in Detroit this coming year, just because of the strength of schedule they have coming this year. It's not that much, but I think other teams are going to know that you're going to be running it because you don't really have any passing targets. With Golden Tate as your one, you're going to be struggling a good bit. But he's going to probably get a lot more touches than 143, probably getting the 200 ranges of touches.
Chris, tell me why I should draft Theo Riddick instead.
Well, Abdullah's next year is here, and by the end we will all be saying next year again. He averaged 10 touches and 50 scrimmage yards last year. Calvin's gone, and no passing touches coming his way because Theo Riddick was actually second in the league with 80 touches out of the backfield. That's second in the league. There's only 2 good things coming out of that backfield. Zane Zenner, because I love that guy. He's my freaking hero. And the OC coordinator's name, Jim Bob Cooter. You got to love this guy's name, Jim
All right, you do
Bob
got to
Cooter.
love a guy named Cooter.
You got to love it.
That's it. Except he's Detroit, and Detroit can suck a big, giant cock. Not just the team, the city, everyone that lives there, the Red Wings, all of them can just suck bone because I've lived there. I hate the place. I never want to go back. I got a lot of stuff that's still sitting there in a storage unit because I just don't want to go.
Jesus.
So, Detroit, have at it. You guys suck. You're going to be the last place in our division. And that's saying something because we got the fucking Bears.
What up?
Sorry, Sean. I'm sorry. I very rarely do I, as a Viking fan, get to be the power in the division. So you can say Green Bay is better than us, but fuck them. Last on our list, Gio.
Gio.
Gio. We skipped over Jeremy Hill because Gio catches all the balls. That's exactly the truth. The only thing Gio doesn't do is find the fucking end zone. He is horrible. He is horribly adept at finding the sideline and letting Jeremy Hill plunge it in from the 1. So good for him. If you draft Gio, you're looking for catches and not running. You're going to put him in at a flex at best. At no point should he be your RB2. Never, ever.
If Hill gets injured.
Chris, tell me why you love Gio. I know you love Gio.
Well, he's got 130 targets up for grabbing that offense, man.
It's hot. That's a lot.
That's a lot of targets. AJ and Gio are going to be the prime beneficiaries, in my humble opinion. Jeremy Hill has hands like a troll with leprosy, so Gio gets all the passing downs and behind the chains work. You know, he and Hill were almost a 50-50 split on total touches. I think it was like 45, 55 maybe. But I see Gio increasing his catch total from last year's, it was 49 at 75 this year. And he's an excellent bye-week filler.
All right, that's fair enough. And that's going to cover our top 30. Not bad. It was a little long, but so we're going to cut. Next week we're going to do wide receivers. Now let's cut it down to 20 because I think we have an extra week in our schedule where the kicker and defense show should be about 6 seconds long.
Yeah.
Goskowski, Seattle. Other than that, you're on your own.
Yep.
So we can make that a very short show, and we'll do some pickup players that we didn't get to mention. So let's just work on the top 20 for receivers next week, and that'll give us a little bit more time to go over each one of those guys because receiver is deep as shit, and there's going to be a lot to talk about. So I said my bold prediction, Jeremy Langford in the top 10. Chris, what's your bold prediction?
That's Eddie Lacy, top 5, baby.
Okay. Sean, you got a bold prediction?
Ezekiel Jackson out of the top 15, 20.
That would be great if his name was Ezekiel Jackson, but it's Ezekiel Elliott.
Ezekiel Elliott.
Out of the top 20.
I don't know. I looked at the TV. He's
right,
going to be horrible.
Since Schrupp,
he's going to be the Melvin Gordon.
Since Schrupp decked out on us with a technical issue, I will take his bold prediction.
Melvin Gordon.
And let's see, what did he say? He was a Jets fan?
Yeah.
No, but he's loving Melvin Gordon.
Well, he did. No, he said Bilal Powell will start by what? He said week 8.
By
week 8.
Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
All right, so we'll let him have his bold prediction that Bilal Powell will start, but I don't see that happening. So that's gonna wrap it up for our running back issue. It's not an issue. It's a running back ranking show. It's not an issue. It's not a comic. It should be. Oh my God, this is getting bad. You know, we're gonna have so much fun throughout this season because once the season gets rolling, the shit talk will really start in earnest.
Oh yeah.
So until we have our team, we're filling you with some information and a ton of bullshit. We just hope you're having a good time, and we appreciate it if you're watching. Leave us a comment, leave us a thumbs up, subscribe to Monkey Caviar. We need all the love we can get. We got Monkey Caviar podcast coming this Friday at 2 p.m. Next Monday night, Adam and I will be back with a look at the comic book Rising Stars. And then, of course, Tuesday night we'll be back here with Fantasy Monkeys, the wide receiver edition. So until next week, love many, trust few, and do harm to no one.
Peace.